Alright. Allie is ready. Good luck to both of you. And both racers are ready. We're going to start this race in 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Inevitable stream delay.
Yep. Alrighty. Let's do this. So, unfortunately, Allie will not be streaming. We will just be filling you in on what's going on. But, at least for now, we can just naturally assume that they're both in World 1. So we'll just leave it at that for now, and we'll let, Allie will let us know what happens, in our, little Discord here. Alrighty, we are entering YI3 right now for MrCab. Gets box jump successfully. Why wouldn't he? And as of right now, we can just naturally assume both of the racers are relatively close to each other, assuming that nothing too tragic has happened yet. As long as one racer gets a shell jump, I think we'll be fine. It seems like MrCab is losing P speed just a little bit. Gonna have to take it slow. Better than dying, of course. Ends the level with a 255. That's probably maybe 1 or 2 seconds. Roughly, probably. About 1 in-game second is like 40 frames. Alrighty, on to YI4. It's the moment of truth. Will MrCab get the shell jump? I'm so excited for this. I'm literally gonna put my headphones down and throw my computer across the room if he doesn't. Aw, dude, I guess I have to stop now. No, it's fine. Better to be safe than sorry. Obviously, bad things can happen while you're going for a shell jump, such as, well, dying to the shell jump, and if you do too much of a left, if you tap left for too long, you can fall into the water and run into those spikes. But still very solid World 1 so far, and we should be expecting maybe a 313, 312. Probably a 313 though, because of the minor slip up in YI3. So let's see what MrCab's door time is. Very successful so far, going through the first little half of Iggy here. Taking it a bit slow on the cages, which is absolutely fine. I think it's a 279 door. Very solid. Alright, just now grabbing the fire in the auto scroller room. And we'll see how this Iggy kill goes. So, by the looks of his timer, he will be a little bit behind PB. Ends World 1 with a 318.5. So just a little bit behind. 2.6 seconds to be exact. Yep. So it looks like Allie, in terms of the updates, has lost 2 seconds in YI4, so they're roughly at the same place. 3:15 Iggy whistle, so it does, I think Allie's just a little bit ahead of MrCab here. Still very close, and anything can happen in World 2 in terms of Morton Fly and everything. Going a little bit slow on the cape grab here, taking it safe, absolutely fine, especially in a tournament setting. It's definitely good to go to consistency rather than, you know, swag and probably the most aggressive strats you can go for. I can't tell if it's fast slide, my eyes aren't trained to look like that, maybe someone in chat can tell me. Looks like he will end the level with a 357, If he had maybe gotten a little bit more solid cape grab towards the beginning of the level, I think it may have been like a 360. So very solid so far. Let's see how his shell grab goes. And we get a 279 pipe, very solid so far. Doesn't lose his cape to the Koopa, very important there. You can get some terrible... You have some terrible things happen to you, let me tell you, with that Koopa. And seems like he gets frame ruled by the Koopa shell. Oh, loses his cape to the Cheep Cheep. By the looks on his face, he's just looking very relaxed right now, so I don't think he's very disturbed by it. There are several backup capes, so what I'm going to be very interested to see is if he's going to go back to DP1 to grab his cape. Oh, gets hit at the end too, so he'll be playing as small. So I'm going to just make an assumption here and say he's probably going to go back to to DP1 and grab a backup cape as opposed to maybe waiting it out until DP3. Better to have a cape sooner. Yep, and he is Yep, it looks like he is going back to DP1. Very nice. It seems like Alliew has lost the shell in DS1, and she's struggling with doors, according to her. Doors are probably the final boss, so I agree. Very solid first room for MrCab. Gets a 290. Let's see how he does towards the end. Gets a 284. Ran a little bit too far up the stairs to get an optimal time, but otherwise very, very solid. Oh yeah, let's update that stream title. I'm not in charge of that. MrCab taking it safe, running, doing a little bit of a left-right just to get the P speed. Seems like he's up in the air just fine though. Probably won't get optimal. He will not get optimal, so he'll probably have to settle for maybe a 260 or something. There's a 261 for DP3. Very nice. So, I'm actually interested to see what he's going to be doing now. If he's going to play it safe, as we've seen from him so far, and grab the Yoshi, or if he is going to just fly over it and do the normal strat. It looks like he's flying awfully low, so we're going to have to see. Or maybe he's just doing that for enemy avoidance, or just for swag, I don't really know. Or maybe it's not even intentional. It does not look like he's going to be going for the Yoshi, so you will most definitely be doing the spin fly strat and be saving time in Vanilla Dome 1.
Weirdly enough, I don't think I've seen anyone go for Yoshi yet, and it is a pretty popular safe strat, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, I myself have used it in the tourney round, so yeah. Alright, time for Morton Fly. Seems like so it seems like MrCab is very familiar with these safe strats here, and that is definitely, by the looks of it, kept him in the lead so far. We actually don't know yet, because Alliew hasn't updated us on her current position right now. Very smooth Morton Fly so far. Ignores the spring, very interesting. Loses P speed, maybe if that's intentional, I don't know. Towards the second half, and he's just going to climb up. And it looks like he's going to make all of the cycles, and he is going to have to wait a little bit at the top, so if he had grabbed the spring there, maybe he could have saved just a sliver of time. Looks like Alliew is now typing minor issues in Morton, she says, so it might, I think MrCab might be ahead just a little bit. And MrCab will finish off World 2 with an 856.1, about 24.2 seconds behind his current PB. 838 Morton split, and I believe that is Whistle. So it does look like that Alliew is a little bit ahead by maybe a little bit, like 15 seconds-ish, probably. So it's still a very close race right now. Doesn't look like there's any major problems right now for either of the runners. Alright. It seems like MrCab is avoiding the bats here, slowing down towards the Buzzy Beetles. Definitely smart so he doesn't get frame rolled. He wants to keep that cape very, very solid. We'll finish off the level with a 378. Very nice, very nice. Alright, time to see how MrCab will fare with Vanilla Secret 1. Oh boy, sorry if you can hear my doggos barking in the background. I will mute and
So just a couple of flyovers at the moment. Pretty standard stuff, at least for no Starworld. So as far as I know, Alliew is about 10 to 12 seconds ahead at the moment.
alright, it appears they've calmed down. hopefully. Yeah, so Alliew is probably, yeah, I'd say about 10 to 12 seconds ahead, but then again, anything could have happened, so we actually do not know right now as of their current position. Ooh, MrCab catches on that ledge, just a little bit. Seems to gain P-Speed just fine, so wasting probably maybe 2 to 3 seconds there, but it doesn't seem like it'll be that much of a difference, because once again, anything can happen in the fortress, and a lot of terrible things can happen to you in Ludwig's castle. So we're just gonna see how each of our runners fare there. Looks like he's gonna finish off the level with a 259. Yep. Very nice, very nice. Alright, let's see how the fort goes. I'm assuming that Alliew is now swimming through the fort as well. And it seems that Alliew has lost 5 seconds in the flyover levels. Because she, according to her, made dumb mistakes. So, we'll have to see. They're probably roughly in the same place right now. Probably about 7 seconds, I'm gonna guess, separating the two players. MrCab goes for the backup cape, very smart. Anything can happen in Reznor, especially if they're not friendly. But based on his current strats right now, I think he's not going to go for aggressive Reznor strats, and it looks like he's probably just going to take it very slowly. Alright, MrCab approaching the door here, and I'm assuming Alliew is now in the same place. Alright, let's see how Reznor. Taking it safe a little bit. Some aggressive fireballs, so very smart of him not to go for fast Reznor. A very common strat that we've seen in the tourney so far. Definitely not a very wise choice to go for fast Reznor, especially since you really don't know what's going to happen. And it looks like he's roughly 30 seconds behind his PB. Finishes off the fort with a 13-18 whistle. 13:12 Reznor is Allie's time, so roughly 6 seconds ahead. Very nice. Alright, so now that we're both in the auto scroll, as long as really don't do anything dumb like try to despawn platforms or die, you know? Those bad things. we don't speak of those though. We never do that, right? So MrCab bouncing on the Koopas. It looks like he's gonna go for the 1-up strat. 1-up. That's gonna be 3 lives? 5 lives. Dang. Nice. Very nice. Very, I was like clenching. I was afraid that he's gonna hit like the Koopa or something. Gets another 1-up from those 100 coins. This is now turned into New Super Mario Bros. 2. And there really isn't many things that MrCab can do now. We don't know if Allie has a second cape, so we're gonna have to take a look here and see what's going on with her after the auto scroller. MrCab getting the 1-up. So MrCab's actually in a pretty good position right now. Even though Alley is roughly 6 seconds ahead, he does have an extra cape, so if something bad happens to him, there's always that recovery. However, he will lose 15 to 16 seconds in Ludwig's castle if Alley does in fact have a fire flower. So we're going to have to see how this turns out at the end of this world. And Alley has survived BB1 as well. Yeah, I know, no Vine though. There we go. I can't emote properly, dude. Alright, we are in Butterbridge 2. Alley is also in Butterbridge 2 by the looks of it. And we're now going to be moving on to absolutely insane, and even more insane is that we're approaching World 5, and with World 5, just so much BS can happen, and it's really unfortunate to see. So we're gonna have to see how clips go, and if Alley even goes for those clips. Yo, very, very nice, solid first room from MrCab. So let's see how the second room goes. If he's going to go for the fly strats, and it looks like he is. Oh, never mind. Slows down just a little bit so he doesn't get P-speed. And it looks like he's going to start speeding up after these fireballs. Very, very nice. And by the looks on his face, he has this like massive relieved look on his face. And I was really nervous for him in that room. So I was really scary, but very, very solid. Alright, we are in the cage room. Despawns the Koopa on that cage, very nice. And he will now lose, I think, 15 seconds if he doesn't get cycle skip. So let's see what he does. That's weird. Hits Ludwig, but doesn't actually do damage to him. It's really interesting. I actually didn't know that could happen. I think maybe he's like on the very edge of him or something. And gets the cycle skip, very solid. And it looks like MrCab will, in fact, be saving time on this split. Gets a 17:23 Ludwig, about 13 seconds behind his PB. And it looks like Alley has a 7:15, about 8 seconds separating both of these runners. So incredibly close, especially to see that at this time. Absolutely crazy. But we honestly don't know what's going to happen because World 5 is, in fact, coming up. So we're going to have to see what's going on. In terms of clips, and whether or not Alley or MrCab even go for those clips just to stay consistent, although I think they will because they save just so much time. So we'll see how things go in terms of subpixel and just general luck. An important thing for both of these runners to do is definitely like keep calm during this time in the run because there's just so many things that you could fear going wrong. A lot of the times when it's in your head, it can mess you up. So it's very important for both MrCab and Alley to keep clear heads during this part of the run. Usually when you're out of this segment, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always relieved. Alright, so let's see, I wonder, is MrCab gonna go for wings here? Doesn't look like it. I didn't know what he had in his mouth because I was looking at Alley's updates here. Very, very nice. Alright, it's a moment of truth. So we actually don't know if Alley grabbed Yoshi here. It looks like she's updating us right now, and she lost Cape. So let's see if she has a Yoshi to make up for that. And she's going back for one in FOI1. So that's gonna put MrCab in the lead, especially if he can get first try clip. So I'm really wondering what's gonna happen here. Oh, it seems like he misses the cycle here. I think he dismounted too many times dealing to where the urchin got up to him. Oh, misses it again. Unfortunately, fortunately for him, he didn't get kicked out of the corner. He just wasn't able to mount Yoshi at the right time. And it looks like he's gonna maybe go for easy clip, or if he's just gonna swim through the level normally. Oh, he grabbed the red Koopa, no wings. Okay. And it does look like he's going to be going for easy equip. Definitely good, especially since you can get that P-speed at the end of the level with the key. Eats the Cheep Cheep just to be safe. And in there, hardest trick in the game. So, in terms of these runs, nothing too tragic has happened to either of these runners. MrCab still has 2 capes intact, and he had a pretty solid FY2 other than missing the clip. And Allie lost her cape in FY1, I'm gonna assume, and she's going back for one. So that would probably waste maybe 20 to 30 seconds. So this will definitely put MrCab in the lead, and we'll see how Allie does on clips if she's even in that segment. MrCab doesn't go for Dirty Bubble. I am disappointed, dude. Yeah, EFT sadly passed away about a month ago. He was very ill, and we were holding this tournament in his honor, so. Yeah, sure, def. I can delay. And it seems like Allie gets easy quip. I don't know whether or not she actually went for hard quip, but we'll see. Let's see if she updates on that. Alright, MrCab entering Roy now, so let's see how Roy Fly goes. This is definitely like a very nerve-heavy part of the run. Sets it up beautifully, gets the dodge under the fireballs. Very nice. Takes a little pause there to slow down and just regroup and make sure that he's very consistent. Enters the door, and he will unfortunately lose time because of the fire kill. And I believe that is a gold split for, yeah, that is a gold split for MrCab. 2204 Roy, very, very nice. And I believe Allie is still probably in FY3 right now. So about 1 level worth of separation. And while MrCab is in the cutscene, let's see if Allie updates us. So since Allie is behind, especially being in that position in a race, normally when you start to mess up, you do start to get really shaky, which can alter your Roy Fly and just generally how the rest of your run can go. Especially during Chocolate Island, where it's a very choke-heavy area, this could like be huge opportunities for either of these runners to see if like one of them chokes to benefit the other, or if they both choke. We've seen that happen a couple of times. So unfortunately, MrCab does have a backup cape, and he cannot go for Unicape. So Nala, not smug. Nala, not smug. Alright, so according to Allie, we have a 2246 Roy. So that's going to be roughly 42 seconds. That's 42 seconds separating the runners, and Allie would probably be in the cutscene right now. By the looks of it, I don't think MrCab went for Pipe Fly. So, he just did it normally, which is absolutely fine. And now it is time for MrCab to enter the ghost house. So this level, surprisingly, can be very, very... if you don't know what Unicape is, Sniper, it's, there's a trampoline at the end of Chocolate Island 1, and if you already have one cape, you can bring it to the end of the gold tape, and it'll give you a second one. So we named it after Unikitten. And Unikitten is associated with Nala Smug, so that's why we're saying that as well. Very nice ghost house so far from MrCab, and makes it out with both capes intact. Seems like he was struggling a little bit with the fishing boot towards the beginning, but absolutely solid. And as long as he's keeping both of his power-ups, he'll be definitely okay to finish the rest of this run. Alright, so Chocolate Island 2, not much to talk about. As long as he gets in the pipe in time, he'll be fine. And not much distance would really be put between either of the runners. But I believe the ghost house is coming up for Allie, so we'll see how she's able to cope with that and if she updates us on the ghost house. And that will put an end to Chocolate Island 2 for Mr. Cab. And Allie fills us in with the comment, "Doors suck," and I can confirm. Alrighty, Chocolate's Secret. So, let's see if he goes for the Steven strat. I'm assuming it'll be the Steven strat. Once again, I've never seen it. If someone wants to teach me that, please do, because I haven't learned that, and I suck at Chocolate Secret, so I'm asking for help, people. Very nice first room from Mr. Cab. Taking it a little bit slow. Mr. Cab has a very surprised look on his face. Probably confused as to what happened. Maybe he was going for P speed or something, or maybe just like generally confused about how he made it out there alive. Entering the final room of Chocolate Secret. Just to fly over, nothing too big. Flying awfully low for some reason. Let's see if he can get enough height to not collide with one of these sandbars here. Seems like he'll be just fine. Okay, thank you, Tina. Whew, my life has been saved. Very nice Chocolate Secret from Mr. Cab. Alrighty, Wendy's Castle. So, Wendy's Castle can also be a very choke-heavy level. We'll see if he goes for Crusher Skip. It doesn't look like he's setting it up, so I think... Oh! Gets hit by that saw there. I was kind of worried because I was like thinking he was gonna hit it, and then he hit it. Alright, so let's see if he goes for Crusher Skip. Does not go for Crusher Skip. After losing the P-Speed there, I don't think he would have. Damage boost on one of the Crushers, but doesn't jump a second time to keep his cape. Flight. Let's see how the second room goes. Oh, loses P-Speed on that block there. As long as he takes it a little bit slow, I don't think we're going to have many issues here. Seems to make it through fine. That was a little bit sketchy. Very nice.
It was a bit sketchy. I was a bit concerned there.
I
saw the reaction on his face. It was...
I know. Spooky.
Spooky.
Spooky scary. Solid Wendy fight. Very solid Wendy fight. And Mr. Cab looks very surprised to have gotten out of Wendy with barely any scratches on him. Just lost a cape to one of those saws there, but seems to have done fine. About 18 seconds behind, 27:57 Wendy. Very nice. That Wendy was spook. It's very true. Alrighty, so just gonna get out of the cutscene in a few seconds. There we go. And it's the moment of truth. It's time to end the level with an orb for the only time in this run. And I won't break your eardrums this time, I promise. I've made commitments to myself to not do that again. Alright, so what I'm interested in seeing is if he actually goes for Boomerang despawn here. I think he does have the damage boost cape. So, I don't know if he'll go for it, but we'll have to find out. And Allie's filling us in right now, 28:45 Wendy. So just less than a minute separating them, and still anything can happen, especially in Vob. Gets the Boo Ring despawn, very nice. And yep, will deboost through the Boo Rings. Very nice, very nice. And Mr. Cab looks very accomplished. So once again, everyone does have their very own, I guess, kind of like lag reduction technique. I don't know if he's going for lag reduction or if he'll be going for like a second star. Yep, he went for the mushroom, it looks like. And this will be 1 out of 2. Ooh, that was sketchy. That's actually a really good strat. Orb.
Orb.
Very, very nice. And we will now enter VOB 1. Swag. Sunken Ghost Ship level end. Hopefully Alliew will fill us in whenever she gets the orb. And it looks like... okay, he gets to the end of VOB 1 just fine. I was worried about that charging chuck there. Gets a second cape. Very, very smart. Grabs the block there. Solid. Yep, and Alliew has filled us in. Orb. Very nice. So still, not a lot of separation. Ooh, that was a really scary VOB 2 there. Or, I guess start of VOB 2 for MrCab. I wasn't fully paying attention because I was too busy investing myself in amazing orb memes. Gets the cape in the second room. We'll see if he goes for sandbar. I don't think he'll be far enough. Well, I think he is pretty far ahead, but it doesn't. No, he's not going for it. I don't think. Absolutely not. I wouldn't want to ruin the lead, especially if he dies. It could be an incredible opportunity for Alliew to catch up. So I think he wants to keep his lead as far ahead as possible. What I'm actually interested in knowing is if Alliew will be going for it, because if she's even like familiar with it. I think she probably will be, and ooh, just barely gets that psycho skip from MrCab in the that second little bit of the sandbar.
And unfortunately, Alliew loses cape in Valley Bowser 1 as well, which is a major setback, but she does still have an opportunity to take this one back.
Yeah, she does have, if something really tragic happens to MrCab in either the fort or maybe even if he falls in the hole at the end of this level, then then Alliew could probably catch up. And there is there are 2 capes in VOB 2 if Alliew goes in as Big Mario, so we'll see what happens. I'm guessing she'll probably opt to go for both just for backup. And MrCab just now entering fort. Just the left screen scroll at the beginning. Interestingly enough, I haven't seen a lot of people do that. Slows down just to avoid getting frame rolled. Very, very smart. I've tried that. I've tried to go through their full speed too many times, and I've learned that it's just absolutely terrible. Yeah, Daft, that really made it hilarious. Like, it's just a natural instinct for me to call it out whenever something exciting happens. Instead, I have to, like, hold in my excitement for 2 seconds before I can let it all out. Like, that's all I'll be clutching, I'll be like, and then it'll be like, oh no. And it doesn't look like Reznors are actually being very kind, but it seems like MrCab is coping with it very well. Very nice Reznor. And skips the split. Gotta keep that average high. And 38, 33. I'm not really sure what that means. It's definitely not 38 minutes. Maybe that's her prediction. Oh, that's her PB. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, is she done? Is that like her prediction or what? I'm sorry. My apologies. And MrCab in the Bowser fight, and looking back at the posters in his room, so that's nice. Gotta encourage yourself for the horrid, just terrible things that happened in Bowser's Castle.
Some pretty awesome posters there, I have to say.
Yeah, gotta admit. This is like Alliew. Oh, Alliew died, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
She didn't specify exactly where, but that is rather unfortunate to see that. And MrCab will in fact be going for ball skip. I was expecting that. I don't think he wouldn't.
Yeah, interesting to see no cape kill here, but it doesn't really save that much time. Or not cape kill, maybe a couple of seconds, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
And go for ball skip.
Yeah, I don't know, Ben. Like, would you find it surprising that he wouldn't have gone for cape kill? Like, I mean, definitely good to play it safe here, but wouldn't you have expected him to go for it?
I'm not really sure. It is actually quite tricky, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Especially since it's like not like a very short and optimized category like 11 exit. You can really cape kill doesn't really dictate that much in terms of your time. All right, MrCab moving on to the third phase of Bowser.
Yeah, I find it easier just because of muscle memory. I kind of have setups for it as well.
And let's see what his final time is. 36:53 normal time and a 36:51 SRL time. GG, friend. GG.
That was a very good race.
Very solid run. Getting a sub 37 is no joke, especially in a tournament environment.
Woo. Well done, both.
Well done. So let's see what Allie's doing. 37:05 forward, and she's going to Bowser capeless, so it will be just slightly slower. But if she does the same strats as MrCab, she should be able to stay like relatively the same. She should take relatively the same amount of time to defeat Bowser. I don't know why I can't like English anymore. GG. So, MrCab, if you do want to come in here for an interview, definitely feel free. I'm sure me and QSM would both like to ask you some questions.
He will definitely be joining us. It's just a matter of when. He's probably pretty happy about how that went.
Yeah, very solid, very solid. It seems like Oglib in MrCab's chat is calling it an invalid run. No claps. No claps. Unfortunately, he will have to be DQ'd, I'm assuming. Alright, so let's see. Again, we don't have the stream, unfortunately, but I'm sure Alliew will do just fine in Bowser. Ooh, Tina's getting upset. I'm sorry, Tina. Like, you need claps, especially when you PB. Like, I'm fine if you do like a normal run, but if you PB, you need those claps. I'm sorry. It's just how it works.
Wow, that blue screen there.
Beautiful.
Oh, and we have the man himself. Welcome back.
Hello,
MrCab. How are you?
Oh, well, I have a cell phone handy, so I can still have this conversation.
Nice.
I was actually trying to make sure I wasn't going to pipe Discord through the stream so it wouldn't have an echo for 5 minutes. And well, I guess I killed the stream instead just to be sure.
Nice. So, what do you think? What do you think was the most solid part of your run? I know there were a lot of great parts.
I'm going with Forest just because that's probably outside of the clip the only thing where like nothing really went wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Were you expecting to get clip? Like, how much have you practiced it?
Oh, I've only been playing like the last couple of days, and like even these splits, because I had to remake my splits file for No Starworld from a while ago. That I do not have hard clip in there at all yet.
Yeah, I think like someone who is definitely invested. Really cool how you can like just pick up a game in a couple of days and get an insane time like that. So definitely props to you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my general goal is to be consistent. I'm a little disappointed it wasn't a lower 36, if not even a 35, but there was just a lot of nerves early on. Like Yoshi's Island 3, I doubled back because I wasn't expecting that platform to be the one I was jumping to, and I was like, oh god, and lost the last like 5 seconds of the level.
And I just want to jump in here for a second. Allie has finished with a time of 42:07 SRL. I don't know what her normal time was, so GG to both of you. So what do you think was when do you think that your nerves are the highest in your run? Like when do you think you were just like, ugh, like really shaky?
Oh, I mean, my nerves are always shaky. Roy Fly is always scary no matter how many times you do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sandbar got weird. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was talking about that because I'm trying to like figure out, I'm trying to like read your face. She was like, is he worried? Like, you seemed, by your facial expressions, you seem to have kept her cool. I mean, you probably obviously did a damn good job of hiding that, so.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you've been doing this for long enough, it becomes like, yeah, I know I'm nervous as all hell, but I can say that now.
Yeah, totally understandable. Like, I can't tell you how many runs I've lost to Roy Fly in a tournament setting. That's very nice that you've been able to keep your cool, and even better, get a sub 37. So very, very nice, very nice.
And MrCab can definitely talk about experience because he's been doing tournaments for years, and I was actually reviewing tournaments.
Absolutely.
And I remember our race; it was pretty fun. I got lucky that time to beat you, I guess, but
yeah. One of these days, I'll get my revenge on you.
There's a chance that we can face each other in this tournament. I was just having a look at the brackets, but hopefully that won't be the case because that would mean I would lose my first race.
So how do you feel you're gonna do in the rest of the tournament, especially getting like solid times like this? Are you confident in how your other runs are gonna go?
Should be.
I'm hoping that they sorry, I'm fighting off a cold here. I'm hoping they get better as we go along here. Like, just like lots of little things. Oh, that's right. Donut Secret 1 happened. Oh my god, that level. I mean, like it's little things like that where we get to like. If I was like I thought about taking the top route. I was like, nah, I'm not. I don't need that block that badly. I'll be okay. And then all of a sudden, I have to deal with the Rip Van Fish at the bottom of the screen that I wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out, like, you've been able to cope with this while fighting a cold. I mean, I'm feeling perfectly healthy right now, and I can't do what you did.
I mean, the cold was really last week. This is like the last vestiges of it. I mean, I can give gory details if they want it, but nobody wants a speech about mucus.
Yeah. No, thank you. So, just looking at the challenge bracket here, you will be moving on to face Twitch Master. So, how do you feel about that?
When I see a single-digit number next to a seed, I get a little worried.
Yeah, a little bit shaky.
I mean, I have a feeling I'm just going to keep putting up, hopefully, all 36s. Actually, there's a good answer, too, for, like, where was I nervous? Probably, like, I think there were, like, a couple of spots where I did not have a backup cape, and I was just like, oh, God, don't lose it now. Actually, yeah, that was, like, at the end of Morton's. I actually thought about landing at the end of Donut Plains 4 to grab a Goomba to get a backup cape out of it. Because I kind of knew if I lose this cape in Morton's Castle, I'm going to have to backtrack all the way. I'm on the J cart, so there is no Freedom Cape waiting for me on the other side of this castle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that was like, well, the Japanese version is faster. It does involve you being a little bit more just simply because, like, you don't have that Freedom Cape there for you to just pick up.
The landing pad is also a bit of a tense moment, just because if you're small Mario going into Sunken Ghost Ship, that's not good.
Absolutely, especially like Well, I mean, while there is like backup power ups and stuff, going into VOB without a cape is I don't know. There's something about that I don't like.
Even from like the 2013 tournament, I think I started saying like once you get to like Chocolate Secret, you have to be ready to beat the game without a cape if you're going to be in these tournaments. That doesn't mean you necessarily need like the pro no cape strats, although it certainly helps depending on who your opponent is. But like just the time it takes to backtrack and get a cape at that point, you might as well like just surge ahead. I think a wise man once said, "Fortune favors the bold." So,
yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, definitely GG. I don't think Allie does want to come in here for an interview, but GG to both of you if you're watching the stream.
Definitely GG Allie. Her times through the first like several worlds were like right there. I guess she had a mishap in Forest 1 or something, but I mean, it happens. Those later worlds is where the race actually starts becoming a race.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
She's already sub 40. I mean, this time she can definitely get that down. I look forward to it.
Oh, yeah. I think if she can dominate in the losers bracket, she can pose a threat if she gets far enough.
Oh, for sure. Just as you were saying there earlier, it must have been slightly intimidating. She was doing really, really well. A very close race at the start as well. So absolutely. I would have been nervous.
She put up quite a fight until the end game where she kind of slipped.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to get back on it, and next time it'll work out. So I think she's gonna get the loser of Rupert and Ferdim.
Yes.
So, that's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, I think based on the way that she was able to, like, based on how consistent she was, I think she can do it. I absolutely think that she can pull something through here and get pretty far in the tournament, especially if she like practices and is consistent.
Yup. Yeah, the nerves are always terrible.
Yeah, the nerves are probably like the biggest part, especially in a tournament environment. There can be people like insane at grinding, and then just like once you're under pressure, it's absolutely a completely different experience. Like you're running a completely different game.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes, especially like when a tournament springs up like this, and like I don't feel like anybody's been grinding Mario World recently. Like maybe 2 or 3 people. So jumping into this, it's not like it's second nature like it is during some of the other tournaments where it's like, yeah, I've been playing this so much recently, I could just kind of fall asleep and let my thumbs do the work.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Allie's going to wreak havoc down there. She's going to go beat up some people in the losers bracket. I don't know who it's going to be, but
hopefully
they will be sorry.
Yeah, they will be. I feel bad for whoever goes up against her. So, yeah, but definitely, if that's all that we have, GG to both of you. And as long as I don't think we have any more races, do we?
We do. Coming up in about 2.5. Donkey Crying versus that should be very interesting. Very close seeds as well.
Yeah,
nice.
I guess in the meantime, I'm gonna go stream my terrible attempts at SMB3.
Go for it. I'm going to go upstairs because I have family over.
Nice.
Thanks so much to both of you for the race. I really, really appreciate it. Santi, for the commentary
for
the restream. So thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I love doing this.
Any final words, Cub? That was a pretty good race.
Don't lose cape.
Yep, keep cape. Always important.
There's your advice. Good advice.
Yep, that's good advice for me too.
All right, guys.
Good job, guys.
We will see you pretty soon.
Good night, everybody.
Yep, good night. Have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah, I'm getting off voice.
All right. Thank you very much again.
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying thanks again.